It's Fizzchozo, aspiring comic book writer, and some say I'm a supervillain. Today I'm here with Trey McHale.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Can you guys hear me okay? I hope so.
I can't quite hear you. Wait.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, well, I think you can now.
Okay, cool.
We're here to talk about evil Superman. Before we get to the main topic, we're gonna talk about Soy Boy Superman, which from the new My Adventures Superman cartoon.
Yeah, that first image was hot garbage, to be honest. I don't know what DC was thinking releasing that and saying that that's Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen was kind of like, what world are we living in? Because that was not Jimmy and that was definitely not Lois Lane. And of course, you have the usual suspects. It's a cartoon. Wait for it. Let's be patient. But it's just like, how many times have we been patient with WB with anything? And 9 times out of 10, it's a disappointment. That's your first look. That's what you want people to be excited about. Oh yes, let my kids see this lazy attempt at a Superman show. Sure.
Yeah, I
Even though
know.
HBO Max first.
Yeah, but I know. Also, Jimmy Olsen, this new show, as somebody on Twitter pointed out, was basically purple.
Yeah. Apparently, in these new animated shows, when they do black people, they don't actually take the skin color of black people. They take purple and they put a little brown in it and call it dark skin, and you just be like, that's not the color of a black person in animation. But all right, sure, let's go with that then.
I know, it's I kind of like Jimmy Olsen might become the parasite, or something. That doesn't sound right. Also,
Right.
given how these type of SJW shows work, Lois Lane might be gay. We don't know. Or bi, whatever.
I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past them. You see how they retconned Shira. They
Mm,
completely made
made her
her and
gay.
Catra a thing
I know,
for
made
that
her gay
new
in that
show,
show.
Princess of Power. Yeah, and
Yeah,
we all know
I
that
actually
Shira, huh?
I actually saw the first episode of that
Yeah,
all years ago. I actually saw the Power Raid the first episode of that years ago. It was not good. You know, they hold my interest. I think everybody in that show was gay.
yeah, and it was made for that reasoning too, to really
Like
ship
that's the time point.
characters. Yeah, because most of the characters turned out to be part of the LGBT community, and I was just like, what are we doing with these characters? And of course, you got those people that don't watch the '80s show and trying to tell us, oh, it's because you're homophobic or whatever, or you just hate diversity. And it's just like, do you guys not even understand the history behind that show? Because the creator was gay and it was a woman, and most of the characters were designed by women who were part of the LGBT community. So what are we talking about? They made the show. So why would people who grew up with this show be upset that the characters were diverse? The characters was already diverse to begin with. It was just unnecessary.
Wait. You mic. I think your microphone's skipping.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Go.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can hear you clearly now.
All right, cool. Yeah, but I don't know. They completely changed the characters up, and you can tell it was really made for like a Tumblr shipper audience, and that's fine. But I just wish they didn't use the characters that people loved. And then what made it worse is the
They
entire
say it's for
cast of
kids,
that new series. They were making fun of the old cast and the people that were creating it and the fans.
and they were gay.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And
and
it's
then they say that shows for kids. Why I keep pushing? Yeah, what about keeps pointing this out in his videos? They keep pushing this stuff on kids.
I
Like,
don't know. I don't know. That's the craziest thing to me. It's just like, okay, how's the show for kids, but yet this whole story keep pushing the fact that girls
everybody
like
gay.
girls, boys like boys, and being straight is a sin.
Like everybody's gay.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know what they were thinking when they decided to do that. It's kind of
The
like
gender is
just being blunt.
basically it's about drag queen pedophiles.
Oh yeah, I heard about
Wait, what?
having
Kind
that kind of stuff
of like they
on
what?
Yeah, I know some schools. I know some schools do that where they invite drag queens to read to children, and I'm just like, this is pushing it. This is pushing it. No, no thanks, no thanks. We could just have teachers reading to the children. You know, I mean, I'm
Yeah, but
not
they got
against. Yeah, I mean, I'm not against any of it, but it just feels like let kids be kids, but stop putting an agenda in it. And besides, growing up in the '90s, there was so much stuff for kids that it's weird that we're stupefying things for children and trying to hide behind the fact that it's made for kids or whatever.
I
What
know.
is made for kids?
Yeah, I know because I love the DCAU. If you don't know,
Yeah.
it's before my time because I was born in 2002. If you don't know, but
Mhm.
but I never, I never was into He-Man. By the way, but I just want to know that. I
Yeah.
just because this channel used to be about cartoon reviews, so I'll often watch weird cartoons that are just coming out.
Yeah.
Most popular video was also the most disliked is video I have on what the F 101, which is unfunny. They say it's supposed to be a comedy show, which is why it's on a comedy streaming service. But say it's not funny is an understatement. But apparently it has a large fan base, so this like the video. And that was about 2 years ago. But now I'm gonna get to the main topic, which is evil Superman. Shit.
Evil Superman. I'm over. I'm over it. I'm
Yeah,
over it.
yeah. Okay, Professor Geek did a live stream on this too. I don't really agree with most of his opinions most of the time because but anyway, it seems like a far right extremist. By the way, a far right extremist, in my opinion, isn't a Nazi. It's a religious extremist of some kind of Puritan. But anyways,
Mhm.
but anyways, the evil Superman trope, modern day Hollywood writers are obsessed with it. Not just in DC, but also everything tries to do a subversion of Superman, like The Boys or Invincible. The thing is,
Jupiter's Legacy.
Jupiter's Legacy. Wait, I didn't watch Jupiter's Legacy. I don't know.
It was boring.
Okay,
It was boring. Most people say
basically,
just read the comic book. Just read the comic book.
yeah. The thing with these type of shows is that they always have treat Superman be evil like it's a big twist, even though how's that twist? I mean,
It's
we
not
all
even a twist
I
anymore.
know I don't really twist anymore. Well,
You
not
got it to the point where your audience is expecting
the
the
Superman
Man of
be evil.
Steel to be evil
I know.
or be possessed or something drives him crazy.
Yeah,
It just kind of like, okay,
Superman
you
stand is
guys,
just there
this is
to
what
be evil
Superman is.
because
Yeah,
it's not even a good villain so much because it's not even a good villain so much because they just see the powers of Superman. It's like you can't even could I come up with a villain with his own design and power set. I mean, there's not even
I
twists. So
mean,
why do it?
he already has villains that are super powered like him
I
that
know
are evil.
Superman.
So do you really need a evil Superman? Not really.
Exactly. Not really. He always has Zod, who's always a Kryptonian, just like Superman, and has the same powers. He also
Yeah.
has Bizarro, who's an evil clone of Superman.
And
It's
then of
like
course you have his Earth 3 counterpart, Ultraman, and of course you have his
I know.
two Marvel counterparts, Hyperion and the other Hyperion. Like it's two versions of the same character that are alternate versions of the same of Superman, but they're inside of the Marvel universe. Like right now, what in that Marvel Reborn series,
Yeah.
Hyperion killed Hulk, and I'm just like, oh, evil Superman. Who could have seen that?
I
Wait,
know.
everyone did.
Superman's just a standard villain now. Seem like like it's not a twist. Well, if
I
one
mean, to be
twist,
honest, it just seems like the folks in Hollywood and just in the media in general hate the Man of Steel. They hate that he's this pure Boy Scout, and they're always trying to change him around all the time. Like let's deconstruct him. Let's make him evil because that's interesting.
that's not
And they
interesting.
act like they can't do anything else with the character. There's more to that character besides that.
Well, yeah, it's
You
more to
know,
the
and I
character
mean, look
besides
at
his
Superman
power.
and Lois. Just look at Superman and Lois right now. Like there's a perfect example of how you should do the Man of Steel.
I know.
And
I
yet
love that show.
they got these fools. Let's greenlight Injustice, Gods Among Us, the movie. For what? Go
Well, didn't
online
you
right
all
now
had the video game?
and look at it.
What's that
Just look
video
at it.
game? I
Yeah,
never
it's a
played
video
it.
game.
I never
It's a
played
video
it.
game.
Yeah, but see, the thing is that Hollywood sees Superman as just the powers, and that's it. No, he's not. He's more than just the powers. Well, I mean, if you want to do a twist or subversion, why don't you do even Wonder Woman? That would be good since Wonder Woman is just an iconic
Or
inferior.
the most iconic hero that went villainous in the DC universe, Hal Jordan, when he became Parallax.
I
There you
know.
go. If you really need to do a hero turning villainous,
Yeah.
have Hal Jordan lose his mind and kill the entire Green Lantern Corps, and it's up to the superheroes to put him down. If you really wanted to do something with the hero being evil that'll shock everybody, bam, there you go, Green Lantern. That's all you got to do.
It'd actually be better if you use John Stewart than Hal Jordan because John Stewart's more iconic to most people.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know, but
Because Justice
let's
League
be honest,
cartoon
we're in this climate where black people
can't be evil.
and LGBT characters can be evil. So I
Can't be
don't
one of
know
that.
how you're gonna get away with having
Yeah.
John Stewart come out of nowhere and be evil, because everybody be like, oh, really? But you because then there's gonna be comic book fans and other people who are gonna be like, so you skipped Hal Jordan and then you gave that storyline to John Stewart, so that's sloppy seconds. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but it works better with John. Since, like I said, John is more iconic to most people. We're more recognizable as
I
Green Lantern.
mean, again, but it will be controversy because everybody's going to be like,
That's
"Oh,
racist.
it's racist. Why you chose the Black Green Lantern when this story is for Hal Jordan?" Because it's going to be a lot of people who don't read the comic books that's going to throw that in DC's face. They're going to do that.
That's why you should use John Stewart, because most people don't read the comic books. So why not use John? That's the only one version of Green Lantern everybody know.
Well, I mean, it would have made sense if they did that for the Green Lantern movie, but if you're going to do a Green Lantern where they become evil, John Stewart ain't the right one, because you want people to like the character. And remember, John hasn't been on anybody's screen since the Justice League animated series. So could you imagine the first time you do that? Oh, we're going to bring in John Stewart, but he's going to be evil and he's going to kill everybody. And then he's going to have a road to redemption. You get what I'm saying? You already going to turn people off from that character. If you
what storylines John does have?
Mosaic.
I know Mosaic already. I know Mosaic outside.
His only storyline that's for him, like where he's the central focus. But I mean, you can.
He accidentally gets a planet destroyed.
There are some Green Lantern stories that feature him that you can do, but I'm just saying, if you want to do an evil Green Lantern, it makes sense for Hal Jordan to go with that one instead of John Stewart. You'll want John Stewart to be the one to save the day, if anything else. Like, you can do the Green Lantern evil movie and have John Stewart finally breaking through Hal Jordan. You know what I'm saying? That would have been cool, but to try to make John Stewart the evil character, nah, I can already tell you that ain't even gonna work.
No, but the thing is, the only Green Lanterns, the Green Lantern Corps that actually have many storylines of themselves is Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
So, but
I mean, I don't know why DC doesn't do much with John Stewart. I mean, John is most of his stories is in the Green Lanterns book and in the Justice League books.
But he doesn't have his own stories on there. He doesn't have his own stories on there.
Mosaic thing was supposed to be his spotlight, but then halfway through that one, DC wanted to go their own route, so they kind of had to rush that story just so they can remove John Stewart out of the Green Lantern, so Hal can kill everybody, but not kill John, and then give the ring to Kyle Rayner, so Kyle can become the solo Green Lantern at the time, while John Stewart became Battlestar or something like that. That alternate version of the Green Lantern Corps before the Yellow Lanterns and all of them was introduced. So that's what they were doing with him, because they didn't want him to be killed off, but they had to remove him off the playing field. Okay. So I don't know why DC does that, but that's the whole thing. All of these companies always talk about how there's no diversity. They have these diverse characters and then don't do anything with them. I mean, let's be honest. WB literally told Zack Snyder, do not put John Stewart in the movie, even though he filmed the scenes with him in it.
What, he did?
Yeah. He said he filmed the scenes, but WB said, no way. So
she was Hal, which is does make narrative sense. I mean, can't you tell any unique stories with just John in the movie format? You have to do a lot more work. You just
I mean, he still wanted to introduce, John Stewart as the Green Lantern. Let's be honest, like Justice League introduced Green Lantern John Stewart before Hal Jordan. We never even saw Hal Jordan
I know.
until that Batman Beyond episode where they went to the future, and that's the first time we saw Hal Jordan. But other than that, it was John. So is it really the first Green Lantern couldn't be John Stewart? We seen it in Justice League. I would have preferred them using John Stewart over Cyborg, to be honest.
I know. Cyborg doesn't even belong on Justice League because most of Justice League is not
Yeah,
understand their own
yeah,
superhero.
and I mean, I know Zack Snyder did his best to expand to expand Cyborg's, story, and I can understand why Ray Fisher was upset. But once again, even looking at him, I'm just like, you really kind
You
of
don't
serve
belong
no
here.
purpose. You
I
don't
know.
belong here, to be honest. And
And
that's the funny thing, because it's just like I don't even know any fans that actually picked up Cyborg's solo comic book run, because
Cyborg
I
doesn't have
remember.
any solo comics. Well, it
Yes,
did,
he
but didn't
does.
sell. It did, but didn't
Yes,
sell.
yes,
It
he
did.
does. He had them.
Yeah, well, it did, but didn't sell. Nobody cares because it's Cyborg. It's not like he can stand on his
I know,
own.
that's what I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying.
It's
DC
just
was
like an X-Men
literally
member.
trying to push that character because Jeff Johns loves the character, and Jeff John is from Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, just like Cyborg is from Detroit, Michigan, and he really wanted Cyborg to play a prominent role. And to me, it was just like, when y'all rebooted the universe, why bring in Cyborg when you could have replaced Hal Jordan and just had John Stewart as the first Earth Green Lantern, and then
Or
still kept Martian Manhunter in
no,
there?
no,
That would have been way better if you claimed you wanted diversity, because that's why they put Cyborg in the
no.
Justice
Let me
League,
finish.
for diversity.
Well,
For diversity.
I know. But or you could just use static, since static actually
But
it
that's a
looks
whole
better.
milestone. That's a whole milestone issue thing. That's another thing that, like,
Royalties.
people want these milestone characters, but
Mm-hmm.
milestone and DC got like little beef going on. Even though DC does technically own them,
On
it's
milestone.
the rights are still up in the air with Dwayne McDuffie's wife. So you have to ask her. And Static,
Oh,
even though Static is a good character, Static is a teenage character. He doesn't need to be a founding member of a Justice League team, just like Cyborg shouldn't be a founding member of the Justice League team. These are supposed to be titans, legends that can stand on their own, not teenagers. You don't put a teenager in. That's why it was baffling when Brian Michael Bendis new Justice League run got Naomi as a Justice League member. Like, why? She hasn't earned that right to be there yet.
but let me finish. Let me establish something. Static can work as a teenager on the Justice League. Just they gotta establish him ahead of time.
No, he still couldn't be. He can't be a founding member. That was the problem with Cyborg. When they rebooted the universe, Cyborg was a founding member of the Justice League. He just didn't become a member later on. He was literally the foundation of the Justice League team, and they took that away from Martian Manhunter
I know
for diversity's sake.
for
You
diversity.
want to
Even
bring
though
in diversity, but you had diverse characters. You could have brought in John Stewart. You could have brought in Vixen.
what
You know
about
what I'm saying?
Firestorm? Black
They had the thing
isn't there
with
Black Fire?
Icon. Huh?
Isn't there Black Firestorm?
Yeah, there's a Black Firestorm. There's a Black Firestorm, but remember, this universe has been rebooted, so they haven't introduced that character, and that character is once again is still a teenager. You remember, this is supposed to be the first time we've seen the Justice League together. You need to have established characters that can stand on their own, not characters that it takes a while for them to get there. You get what I'm saying? So when you're having a foundation of the characters, just like when Justice League came out, the animated series, they picked what characters did they pick? They picked Martian Manhunter, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, and they picked Hawkgirl. They replaced what they replaced for Hawkgirl again? Aquaman. Because
Aquaman.
Aquaman will be there, but they replaced Aquaman with Hawkgirl, and I think they did a good job. At least if you're gonna replace somebody, at least make it where, okay, this character is believable.
Yeah,
Cyborg wasn't believable. Just
I
like if
know.
you had that with Static Shock, people would have been like, "What? That don't make no sense." You
But
got to kind of think about your characters in your universe, and that's what's wrong now. Is like, that's why we get crap like My Adventures with Superman, because people just seem to hate these characters and always want to try to reimagine them into this fan fiction nonsense
Mhm.
that people didn't ask for. Because right now, DC hasn't recovered since the New 52.
I know.
Like,
That's back
they
in
keep trying
2011.
to pretend like it's something, but they haven't.
Mhm. But the thing is, yeah. It's kind of hard to get Aquaman to work on Justice League because he's only useful in the water. But
Well, he's not. He's actually pretty useful. Pick up if you actually read his comic books. He's really good. Don't let that Super Friends crap fool you. Don't
I
let that
know,
Friends stuff crap confuse you, because he
but
has the same amount of strength and speed as Superman and Wonder Woman does and stuff like
I
that. He
know.
has a Triton that lets him control water.
Yeah,
So
I know.
he's not useful. I mean,
I
he's not useless and
but
stuff like that.
he has to be still. He's still the comic book Aquaman is still set primarily on the water, underwater or near water. It
I
has
mean,
to
of
be.
course, he has a kingdom he has to protect, but nobody says it about Namor ass, and Namor is literally
Namor
the
can
same
fly.
character.
Yeah, but Namor can fly.
He can fly. Ooh, he
That
can
still makes
fly.
him
But
more
he does
useful.
the same. He does the same thing as Aquaman. But everybody keep looking at the Aquaman TV series, and I mean, not
Super
TV
friends.
series, but Super Friends, and think how useful. I mean, useless he is, and it's just like, yeah, a guy who can telepathically communicate with dangerous sea creatures that can literally kill people.
Yeah,
Oh,
as long as
okay,
they're near the
cool.
water. Yeah, that's
Sure.
still limitation.
Okay, but guess what? He can literally pull the tides and flood whatever area he needs. Did you forget? Like,
Yeah, of course
okay,
he
we're
can.
on dry land, and I need to bring a shark in here. Now, how am I going to bring the shark? I know. Raise the tide, create water. Bam, there you
Yeah.
go. Most
He can make
people can't
floods happen.
survive in water. He can. You know,
Mm.
I don't think people really think about how much value, the ability to breathe in water and being able to control dangerous creatures
Mm.
from the deep sea.
Yeah, it
most of
makes
us
sharks
would
eat
be
people.
most of us would be dead if we had to live underwater.
No. He can make sharks eat you. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, people keep forgetting, like, this man is way more powerful than that, and his skin can withstand the depth pressures of the sea. Like, most people, after a certain depth in the ocean,
get crushed like a
your
butt.
body start decompressing. Like,
No,
the
get
water
crushed.
is current is
Compressing.
killing you. It's killing you. So, I
Yeah.
mean, people always want to try to talk all that junk, but forget, like, how powerful this man really can be. If he really wanted to wage war against society, all he has to do is literally raise the tides.
Send a
It's
tsunami in
over.
to get you.
Huh?
Send a tsunami in to get you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he really wanted to, flood all y'all. Since y'all want to talk about how useless I am, flood all y'all. Can you swim? I guess. Can you breathe underwater like I can? No, that's what I thought. And then, of course, he can bring down lightning, and water conducts electricity. So, you kind of do the math there.
Yeah, but anyways, the evil Superman trope. Well, my other indie comic writers keep using that, obsessed using that too, like it's a twist. But the
I
thing
think
is,
what's wrong, the reason why it's kind of became a terrible trope is because back in the day, they weren't focusing on making Superman evil. So a lot of these indie comics, because remember, all of these indie comics were made years ago. They're
back in
just not getting greenlit.
2000s and
Into
late
sales
90s.
now. Yeah, like a lot of them was made in the 90s and in the 80s of what if Superman was evil, because DC really wasn't doing no what if Superman was evil stories. It's only when we get to like the 2000s is when we start getting these what ifs of Superman. But these indie comic book artists were already kind of doing that stuff prior to that, because they knew that DC would never, really focus on that kind of stuff. But then now we get to the point where Superman is so iconically known that when all of these shows that were, playing the evil Superman trope are now coming out, even though they've been out for a long time in comic book form, it looks like, oh God, here we go, evil Superman. And I get it. I get it. It is kind of tiresome to kind of keep seeing, oh God, evil Superman, here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be different if DC had movies and shows showing the goodness of Superman. But no, everybody always want to talk about how lame he is because he's just a goody two shoe. So what? What's wrong with being a good person? What's wrong with being a good character? What's wrong with being inspiration?
There are plenty of characters you are just good two shoes that sell well to mass audiences. Look at Sailor Moon.
Yeah,
I know why Sailor Moon, but I know that Sailor Moon, what Sailor Moon's about.
exactly.
And not to mention, Luke Skywalker in the original Star Wars trilogy.
But and you already saw that Disney said hell no to
I
that.
know. That's what Ryan Johnson said. Subvert your expectations. Make
Uh,
make him depressed old man on some island planet somewhere, on some island on another planet somewhere, sucking sea monster titties.
oh God. And then that's another thing too. They always want to try to subvert our expectations. Stop subverting our expectation. It's cool once in a while, but now it's getting kind of annoying. And as much as I enjoy Dark Knight Rises and Watchmen, I'm really wishing they were never made, because
Dark Knight Returns.
ever since both of those comic books were made, every writer and artist wants to try to do their own Watchmen or their own Dark Knight Rises. I mean, Dark Knight Returns, or they want to do their own V from Vendetta. Vendetta, and it's just like, ugh, for God's sakes, people, stop. The reason why these stories were out of continuity or their own things is because they wanted to subvert expectations and try to tell a dark tale, but they didn't want it to corrupt the comic book landscape. And ever since those stories came out, it's corrupted the landscape where everybody needs to do it. Everybody needs to do it.
And then not only that, but they're doing it all the exact same way. Like if you wanted to do an evil superhero subversion, you wouldn't use an evil Superman, even though that's all they use. You would use an evil Wonder Woman stand-in. That would make sense. I mean, if he indie comic publisher, like, why keep using evil Superman? Wonder Woman is just as iconic and just as good as Superman, supposedly.
And that's another thing too. Is like DC only wants to do evil Batman and evil Superman, or evil Flash. And the Flash that I'm talking about is Wally West. They love to all of a sudden he was the most hopeful character in the DC universe, and they're like, we have to make him evil. Okay, great.
Because Dandy Deal hate Wally West.
I mean, he hates most of the legacy characters anyway. So my thing is, and that's another thing with DC too that gets on my nerves. That's why I'm so over them trying to make brand new characters, because you literally had your executive that was in charge of DC Comics saying that he hates the legacy characters and he hates the sidekicks, right? And he had literally a hit list on them. Okay, so why are y'all making brand new characters that are tied to the main characters that Dan DiDio wants to get rid of? That makes no logical sense.
I know. You want
to get rid of Nightwing and all the Robins, but then you want to bring in a brand new Bat person character in the Bat mythos. I know that all his sidekicks. You just said that you hate. I know characters.
Well, what you should do was make original superheroes with their own identities. Then that's the case. But they didn't do that.
What's so crazy is they had original characters with that whole Age of Heroes thing.
I know. I heard that. Age of Heroes. I read that.
They gave up. They gave up on it.
I mean, the only one that didn't give up on Silencer.
No, the Terrifics, because Silencer ended before the Terrifics. The Terrifics ended last year, I believe, and that was the longest running out of all the new Age of Heroes. Like, they gave up on them.
Yeah, they gave up on Brimstone. I actually thought Brimstone was kind of cool.
I mean, I liked the Sideways and to the Terrifics the most. I thought those two were amazing stories and stuff.
I only read the first issue of Brimstone and High Guy's Powers, but I don't understand the story after that. But he actually has his own supporting cast and his own name and stuff. Like, why can't we do that again?
And you know what's so crazy is, once again, we got to take it back to before the 2010s. Before the 2010s, DC, Marvel were so diverse with their line. It wasn't just always about superheroes. Like, remember when Marvel used to have a whole bunch of horror characters that were heroes
back in the 70s?
Yeah, they used to do that. And then of course you had DC with the Vertigo line or whatever and stuff like that. Like, how do How do you say that there was no diversity in comic books when there was so much out there? It's so much that you can't possibly read all of it at once. But we're at this thing where there's never been black people in comic books. There's never been females in comic books. There's never been LGBT characters in comic books. And it's just like, what are you guys talking about?
I know,
What are you guys talking about?
I know, but that's those are blatant lies made up by communist SJW writers to insert that identity politics in there. The guys, the excuse for race changes. We got to say that they weren't there, so that when race change a character, you won't complain.
Yeah, even though people are complaining about it. Yeah, that makes logical sense. And then instead of just like, hey, listening to what your fans are telling you, we don't want the race changes. We don't want the sexuality changes. We don't want the gender swaps. Here are original characters of all of those boxes that you need to list off of. They was like, no. Those characters are stay on the shelf. And we're going to bring in, we're going to take those attributes and put them on characters that we know that you guys love.
That doesn't work. I mean, like for example, for I had actually had a great idea for a Superman TV show in which we had you have a teenage John Henry Irons as Superman's sidekick. That would actually make sense.
That could work. That could be a cool reimagining of the character,
and that would actually make sense and be basically like it's Robin, but he's in a robot suit.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's way more interesting than what we're getting with My Adventures with Superman.
I know.
And I keep trying to tell people, it's just like, you guys always want to talk about diversity, but one thing that people need to understand, the comic book industry is a reflection of the United States. Mm-hmm. The United States is mostly white, like it or not. Yeah. Just like most of the comic book readers are male, just like most of the comic book readers are also straight. Like it or not. I'm sorry that you don't like those statistics. I'm sorry you don't like those numbers, but that is the truth. It is what it is. If white people, if LGBT people and women want to read comic books, they will read comic books. Trust me on that. But trying to change everything up on those characters, trying to change the most iconic thing about these characters to try to get that audience, all it does is turn off your established fans and turn off the new fans because they know that you're pandering to them. And all the ones that always want to be like, they support this are the main ones that don't buy nothing. They don't buy nothing. And it's crazy because they always want to be like, why do you care or whatever? You mean care about the characters that's been around for 83 years, the characters that I grew up reading, the characters that I, once upon a time thought that, hey, maybe if I work hard enough, maybe I could work for them or whatever. I'm sorry that I had ambitions, or I'm sorry that I fell in love with these characters and stuff like that. And it didn't have anything to do with their race or gender or anything. They were just good written characters. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
If Superman and Lois, Batman, Wonder Woman, if those four characters originally were black in the beginning of comic book history, okay, cool. That's fine, because guess what? They've been those characters for 80 something years. But just all of a sudden trying to change them up and trying to reimagine them where they're completely bastardized versions of the characters makes no logical sense. I'm sorry.
I know.
You're not about to sit up here and convince me that it's a good idea to race change, gender swap, defeminize characters and all that kind of stuff. No, that's crazy. You're not doing that to me. You're not about to sit up here and do that to me and then try to push it off and try to hide behind it's for kids and stuff like that.
The kids even want that.
Even though cartoons originally weren't for kids in the beginning, but sure, because everybody forgot about the history of animation.
I know
cartoons weren't really made for kids. It only just became over time for children
until the 50s. Because before the 50s, back in the 30s and the 40s, I don't think a lot of
tell stories. It was just made to tell stories and entertain
jokes.
Entertain adults. But they did it in a way because it was just easier to do it when you couldn't film somebody live action wise. That's all it was.
I know.
All it was. And then they decided that, we can also make shows for children because we can also get them to convince their parents to buy stuff.
No. The reason why it became for kids in the 50s because the animation quality was so poor that they had to aim at kids.
I mean, Animation quality is going to dip and drop between everything, but with Japan, there's no excuse at this point. So this whole
I
"it's
know.
for kids" crap goes out the window. Been out the window years ago. Years ago.
The
Your
selling
target
merchandise.
audience, sure, your target audience can be kids, but why dumb down things for children though?
I
Now
know.
you didn't dumb down things before.
Back
Now
in the
you're gonna dumb
90s.
down things now.
I
I
know,
mean,
like
you had the DC animated universe for God's sakes.
I know.
That was the target demographic were children,
I know.
yet adults and kids were watching it because they cared about the characters and they just wanted to tell good stories.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like seriously now, what the hell? But I also know another thing. Okay, if you're doing it, now some in any comics did the evil Superman trope right. Like for example, I love Irredeemable by Mark Waid. You know what Mark Waid is, right? The crazy
Of course,
guy.
everybody wait.
Yeah, crazy guy was throwing tantrums. Yeah, apparently, yeah, he made a comic called Irredeemable. That was actually a good with evil Superman. But the thing was, the character in that story, but wasn't Superman from a jump. He was basically the whole story was a character study of this character called the Plutonian, and he was basically evil from the jump. He had serial killer origins type of origins. So we later learned that he had an abusive mama. She was mad she couldn't kill him. She wanted to kill him, but he was bulletproof, so she couldn't kill him. And so he killed herself. And then he kept going from foster home and all this kind of serial killer origin stuff. So he had a fundamentally different origin for Superman that made him go crazy. That made him he's already crazy.
Sound like how we got Brightburn.
Brightburn was bad, but didn't tell it that well. Didn't tell it that well. He just turned evil because for no reason. Because the ships brainwashed him, son.
Yeah, that was kind of
stupid. That was dumb.
I really thought they were gonna go and get really. I thought they was gonna go in depth with it, but they didn't, and it just kind of like turned me off a little bit because I was just like, so he's evil now for no reason, even though he grew up in a family that loved him.
I know that makes any sense.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I mean, Clark Kent was bullied too when he was younger, but he didn't turn into no serial killer asshole just because he developed powers all of a sudden.
I know.
That don't even make no sense. It literally negates all of the raising that your parents gave you. Just because the ship is giving you a sonar thingy or whatever and jump that.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's crazy. To be honest, I mean, I really wish the mom did kill him at the end, but
I know. Look, in Irredeemable, it made sense. You ever read Irredeemable, by the way?
No, I never read Irredeemable. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you.
Okay, but Irredeemable actually made sense because he was his upbringing was horrible. He didn't have loving parents for most of his life. Until his adolescence. At that point, he's already kind of crazy anyway. So it made sense. And then as adults, nobody really liked him in his personal real life. And so he only became a superhero to get so that people could like him. Basically not doing it to help others. He's just trying to get attention for himself, kind of like Booster Gold or something.
Right.
Then this eventually went crazy. So eventually he was going to go crazy anyway and start killing. And became a serial killer. And had the main character, the comic, the good guy, the main good guy is named Cubit, who was an obvious stand-in for 10th Doctor. I mean, the artist he made look just like David Tennant, and he has to fight the evil Superman. But that was actually a good storyline. He kept having to fight him throughout the whole comic, trying to find a way to stop him. Man, Plutonian kept killing people. By the way, Plutonian slaughtered children. But speaking of that, actually, there are some good villain stories out there. Like super villain movies out there, like Split. You ever seen that?
My thing is Hollywood has a weird reverse psychology thing with these villain things.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing that's aggravating is they're trying to redeem these villains. Like, no.
Make villains the anti-heroes because they're female.
You can't look. I'm sorry. No matter how much you try, you're never going to convince me that Harley Quinn is a good person. I don't care how many solo movies you give her. I don't care
Yeah,
how many solo comic book runs you give her. I don't care how popular she is with the Tumblrs and the cosplayers. She is an evil character, and trying to make her part of the Bat family now
that's retarded.
is retarded.
Look,
This girl is a mass murderer.
yeah.
The Joker didn't make her do it. The Batman didn't make her do it. She chose to do a lot of things on her own, and a lot of people forget that she was a terrible psychologist and she was a terrible person. She slept her way through
I know.
college.
I know.
She slept her
But
way through college. Don't sit up here and try to tell me how good of a character she is. No, she is a psychotic. You know what? And they're trying to convince me that this is a good person. They're doing the same thing with the Disney villains. They're trying to make them
I know
these
why.
redeemable characters.
Let me
like,
explain
oh,
why.
they're anti-heroes, and it's the world's fault why they're like this. It's not their fault. Nobody told you to go out there and skin a dog. Nobody told you to go out there and try and kill children because you wasn't invited to a christening. Like, stop trying to blame the heroes, or stop trying to blame society for the reason why you turned out like that. Like, I mean, I can understand the Todd Phillips Joker movie because they made sense, but they still held him accountable.
I know.
But this stuff that they're doing right now is literally like, oh, it's the hero's fault that they're this way or whatever. And it's kind of weird because you remember in Justice League, they did the same thing where society was turning against the heroes and were trusting the villains more so than they were the heroes. And I don't understand where we get in this whole mood where the heroes are the bad guys and the villains are the good guys.
Reason for this is that it's feminism. At least a feminism according third wave feminism. It's basically the reason all these villains being turned to anti-heroes are female. Now, universally, like never male. Now, the reason for this is that the feminist ideology states that okay, women can do no wrong, so we got turn female characters who are villains. Because keep in mind, these third wave feminists are amoral people. So we gotta take these characters. They themselves are bad people in real life. So they take these characters who are all bad and then make them seem like they're good people and make them into anti-heroes. And then you go around killing men. That's why we got Maleficent, Cruella, and all these movies. Like, I'm talking about super villain movies. I'm talking about movies about people who are characters who are not anti-heroes, but actual villains who are actually evil and do bad things. And we would trace them as evil. Like Split. Did you ever see Split?
No. I didn't see no. Split was the one with when the whatchamacallit had about a whole bunch of different personalities.
Yes,
right?
James McAvoy.
Yeah, I seen it. Never mind. Yeah, I seen it.
That's actually
that thing was crazy.
Yeah, but Unbreakable and Split, and then them led to Glass.
I didn't get to see Glass, but I heard it was terrible.
The plot twist. M. Night Shyamalan did make no sense. Basically, well, very little. It did make some kind of sense, but very little setup. Basically,
of course, he self-sabotages himself again. I don't know what's up with that man.
No, basically,
that man always be getting people like he'll do
twist.
one good movie. He'll do one good movie, or he'll do a few good movies and a good twist, and then when it's time to connect the threads, he literally fumbles the ball, and you just be like, every time. Bro.
I know and that time too. We did with that movie when Glass. What he basically decided to have this the twist at the end was that there's this cult that hide super beings that kill super beings and all that hide them from the rest of the world. But the thing is that had very little setup, so it made no sense when this came at the end. And they killed what's the Bruce Willis character. They killed the Beast and they killed Mr. Glass at the end of the movie. Then Mr. Glass' mama released the footage, so now everybody no superhumans exist. So she secretly Mr. Glass planned for him. Therefore, all that was pointless. Now,
my thing is, all they had to do is another movie for setup, and that's another thing too that's wrong with this whole entertainment media thing too. Is like they want to get to the good stuff without the setup or without the build. That's what's
that
wrong.
Was the problem with Justice League.
Wrong with the DCEU. It's like WB was rushing Zack Snyder and was like, no, you need to hurry up and get to wherever because Marvel is already ahead of us and we need to be up there like now. And it's just like, no, you can't do that. You need to have build up.
Yeah,
You need to have build up. You can't just do 3 movies and not have a build up.
I know,
Like it makes no logical sense.
Exactly. The studios didn't understand that. The studios don't understand that the MCU did not start with the Avengers. It started with Iron Man. And then it had all these original independent these standalone movies that led up to the Avengers.
Exactly.
You can't just do the Avengers and then split off from there. That's not how it works. That's not how storytelling works.
And then from watching the Snyder cut, to be honest, it makes the studio look like idiots. It really does make the studios look like idiots because it's just like, well, okay, so you rushed him, right? Okay, so he had to hurry up and add Batman into Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice because he was really supposed to do Man of Steel 2 first. Then he had to do Batman vs Superman because they was like, bring in Batman. Okay, cool. After Batman vs Superman, we gotta do Wonder Woman because Wonder Woman is also going to be in Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice. So do Wonder Woman solo movie. Then you gotta do Justice League. And then after that, we're going to do Justice League 2 and 3. After Justice League, we were going to do the Batman, and then we were going to do Cyborg and Flash.
That doesn't make any narrative sense.
And then we would have got to Justice League 2 and 3. And it's just like, why? Why you just couldn't do a build up like the MCU did? Trust me, we would have waited. Because for me, how I would have originally did it, what I would have did is after Man of Steel, I would have did Man of Steel 2. After Man of Steel 2, we would have did the Batman movie.
I know.
Then we would have did the Wonder Woman movie. And then we would have did Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. Because that way you're bringing those 3 characters together. And then that will lead into Justice League.
That would make sense.
What I would have took out is that whole Death of Superman crap.
Why was that even that happened too early?
It did happen too early, but again, he probably had to hurry up and scrap whatever plans he had for his Man of Steel movies. You get what I'm saying?
I know he had to rush it and force Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel 2 into the same movie. Because
pretty much because that's basically what Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice is. It's literally Man of Steel 2 and Batman's first movie put together, and it's just like, well, hell, if that's the case, why y'all just didn't just watch the DC animated movie World's Finest and just do that?
I know.
You could have did that. That would have been fine. But again, studio heads at WB don't understand anything because what's so funny is when they decided to do these movies, they didn't contact anybody from the animation or the writers of the DC animated universe at all. They
didn't contact Paul Dini or Bruce.
No, they didn't contact none of them. They didn't contact none of them. They
the reason for this,
Hollywood folks. They went straight to Hollywood folks and a few comic book writers, and that was literally it. And then it was at the time that Dan DiDio was able to convince WB and the execs that DC Universe needs to reboot, and he got approval for the New 52. That's why we saw all that marketing campaign for the New 52 because he convinced Warner Brothers that it was a good idea to reboot the DC Universe continuity to make it dark and edgy because that's what the kids want. No, it's not. No, it's not, because one thing that people need to understand, DC was always number 2 when it came to comic book sales, while Marvel was number 1. It is what it is. But to take that away from everybody just because you have some personal vendetta because you want to be number 1, the thing about that is when you try to become number 1, you have to stay on number 1. And it took less than 3 months before those New 52 titles fell off. And you saw people were just like, and
like, you had stupid stuff like Promiscuous Starfire and what else?
Slut out Starfire is more like it because good God, they slutted her out so bad, and she's not. And then my thing is,
have memory problems.
I remember talking to somebody about that because they were like, "Oh, how?" Because I said I wanted Starfire to go back to her iconic costume, and he was like, "Well, that one's sexual too." It's not as sexual as that bull crap that they gave her from the New 52. Like, what is that? She had like literally sticky pads where her pasties on her titty. Like, and
wait, hold up.
like the underwear that she had on was just didn't make no logical sense at all. And then she had those ruffled boots. Like, what are we doing with this character? What are we doing with this character? And people have to understand that the reason why Starfire is so revealing is because her body needs to constantly absorb solar radiation. That's why she wears what she wears. But at least the outfits that she was wearing before the New 52 was better. It's better. I mean, let's be honest. It's one of the most iconic costumes, and it's been around for almost 40 years before they decided they want to reboot and try to cover her up and stuff like that. They're even covering up in the Titans. Like, it makes no logical sense.
I'm not even gonna watch that Titans show. It's just not Titans.
I mean, that's what it's called. I mean, I'm just saying.
It's not.
It's just weird. It's just weird. Like, people don't understand like these characters. I keep trying to tell you, understand these characters before you start trying to reimagine or rebooting these characters. It's not hard. They act like these characters have not been out for years. There is materials on these characters. There's personalities. There's an encyclopedia on these characters. Mm-hmm. You can even go on Google and type in, I want to do a Starfire story. Okay, type in Starfire. Wikipedia will give you her entire history and her personality and her background, so you can know who she is as a character. So I don't understand how you have the information there and you still choose to ignore it.
I know, because these new SJW writers are lazy and they say the past let die. But the thing is, Coriander, her backstory is that isn't that wasn't she a former slave?
Yes, the princess that was sold into slavery.
Sold into slavery by own evil sister.
Experimented on.
That's how she got powers.
Mm-hmm.
But I know, and the thing is, they act like that. That's not even a factor anymore. Have you ever seen Blackfire lately?
No, I haven't. The only time I seen Blackfire was in the recent Justice League Odyssey run, and to be honest, I don't know which Blackfire it is because, like I said, the continuity's been screwed up. That I don't know if this is pre New 52 Blackfire or it's the New 52 one. Because if it's the New 52 one, I don't know nothing about the New 52 one because, like I said, the New 52 was kind of like my drop off for a lot of the DC comic books. Like, the only thing that was really holding me on was Batman, the New 52 Justice League, and Aquaman, I believe. Because everything else was terrible. Like, the Superman books were garbage.
I heard Teen Titans books just as bad.
And I was so upset because I was collecting all the Teen Titans book. So, of course, I went and got the New 52 Teen Titans run.
And all edgy Teen Titans.
Oh, it's edgy. It's garbage. The characters are out of whack. And then they took Superboy and Cassie, Wonder Girl, and they literally destroyed their personalities. Like, who are these characters? What are you doing? What are you doing to my characters? Like, that's not who they are at all. And then this is the first time they're forming. What? That don't make no logical sense because in Batman and Green Lantern, Green Lantern New 52 was good too. But let's be honest, Green Lantern and Batman were the only ones that really weren't touched by the New 52 reboot.
They ain't changed anything with them. When New 52
that was so crazy. That's why it was so weird. Like, everything else was starting over. But most of Batman and Green Lantern's continuity was literally the same. So it made no logical sense. How could Batman have died in Final Crisis if everything is rebooted? How was Dick Grayson Batman at the time? Once again, if all of this stuff didn't happen in continuity, why is all of Batman's mythos mostly intact? Why is Green Lantern's, like, literally Green Lantern's picked up where the last Green Lantern run left off in before the New 52? So how did Blackest Day happen? How did Brightest Day happen if the continuity is rebooted? It makes no logical sense. Who came up with this idea? They need to get slapped. I mean, I know it was Dan DiDio, but literally, it didn't make no sense, to be honest. How can two of your primary characters, Batman and Green Lantern, continuity still stay the same, but Wonder Woman,
everybody else is the same.
Everybody else, continuity is screwed up.
Yeah. But thing is, The thing is, another thing too is that Harley Quinn, the reason why they made her turn good in his new 52 was to try to make her seem like she's a good person is because of feminism. That's the entire reason. The ideology is the entire reason why they made her seem like she's a good person.
But
And
the thing about the New 52 Harley Quinn is she's worse.
I
She's
know,
worse than her pre-crisis Harley Quinn self,
I know.
because it was kind of funny because they said they wanted to get Harley Quinn away from the Joker, right? Okay, so if you look at Suicide Squad and you look at the Harley Quinn run and when they do her backstory, right?
Mm-hmm.
They literally showed Harley Quinn falling in love with Joker, sleeping her way through college or whatever and stuff like that. And the Joker literally asked her before he pushed her into the bat that made him the Joker, that do she love him and would she do anything for him? And she said yes. And he literally pushed her into that thing and bleached her skin like him and stuff like that. So she's more psychotic now than she was before the New 52.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, you just said that you want to get her away from the Joker, yet you literally gave her the same kind of backstory of the
As
Joker.
That doesn't make any sense because originally she did not fall into that vat. That was just a Joker.
Exactly. And they literally put her, she's literally a female Joker. She was psychotic in the Suicide Squad thing, and Harley Quinn a little bit, it was like a little parody thing of that Harley Quinn show that, I have to kind of separate my comic book knowledge away in order to try to enjoy the show, because I be calling out so much error, but I have to understand that's a parody show and not for anything to be taken serious with that one. But still, it's kind of like, how is this making her more independent by making her
more like the Joker?
Version of Joker.
And another thing too is that they keep having to fight Batman. Look, the only way the Harley Quinn stand on his own character can work if you have her as a villain for another superhero.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys keep talking about you want her to get away from the Joker, Batman, and be her own character or whatever.
She has to get away from Batman.
Okay, she has to be away from those people. That means she can't be. We don't need to see her in comics for a while. Then
or you can have a fight against somebody else. Like
the dude. Like she doesn't. The thing about it is Harley Quinn doesn't need a solo run. I'm sorry.
She doesn't.
I know some people say that they like it or whatever, but it needs to be over. If you want Harley Quinn to stand on her own, if you want her to kind of be likable or whatever and stuff like that, you can't oversaturate her. The only reason why it works for Batman is because it's Batman, and DC comic books is literally called Detective Comic Books. So you got to kind of have Batman out there because Batman does sell. But with Harley Quinn is if you want people to like her a little bit more besides just dressing up as her, because that's another thing that these people like to do is they look at Twitter and they look at people that cosplay these characters and be like, well, they must be popular. Just because somebody dress up as a character and just because you get a few tweets on Twitter doesn't mean that the character is this likable person.
I know.
Or whatever. Because I mean, go into a comic book shop and ask the comic book, do you sell a lot of Harley Quinn? Most of them won't tell you no. They say they sell a good bit, but they don't sell as much as people try to make it seem like she is very sellable. Yeah, her merchandise is pretty cool, but if it's comic book wise, I mean, most people I talk to that talk about Harley Quinn, they don't talk about her comic books. If they do talk about her comic books, they talk about her pre-New 52 stuff. They literally do. And then my thing is, you said that you don't want her to be sexualized, or you don't want.
Why she in micro shorts then?
Exactly. Why she's showing everything? She was in a gesture costume.
I know that. I watched Batman anime series. She was just I know she's just a suit.
She was a sexy jester. That was it. Yeah. But then y'all took that away from her.
Now she in micro shorts.
Yes, like she's literally like a hot pocket.
Like she a prostitute or something.
I mean, I'm just saying what they need to do is cancel the Harley Quinn comic book, because first off, that art is gross. That art is
I know.
The new Harley Quinn run, because no way I went in the comic book and I went in the comic book store and I opened up the book just to look at it and I said, oh God, it makes me want to throw up so bad. The artwork was terrible. The dialogue was just cheesy as heck. Look, after issue 6, cancel it. Cancel Harley Quinn. What you need to do is remove her from Gotham City altogether. Remove her from the Suicide Squad. Let her be an anti-hero. I mean, not no, don't even let her be an anti-hero. Let her be like a little prankster character, where
Or
she, but she need to be away from Batman, Superman.
Batman.
She definitely need to be away from Batman and Superman. And she needs to be away from Poison Ivy, and she needs to be away from the Suicide Squad, and she needs to be away from Catwoman. She needs to get all of that she needs to, all of that needs to go out the window. She needs to be away from all of that and let her be a villain or a nuisance to another character. Hell, to be honest, I would have preferred no, I'm not even gonna do that because everybody would have been like, it's not believable. I was about to say Wonder Woman, but never mind. Nope, it's not even believable because Wonder Woman would have been annoyed with her. Nope. Because it didn't make sense in the Justice League versus Suicide Squad that she was going toe to toe with Wonder Woman. I was
that one, yeah. Well, no, well, she should be a villain to another non-powered hero, like not Green Arrow. Wait, somebody, I gotta say somebody else. The guy DC has multiple. Come on.
I mean, back in the day, she used to be a little nuisance for the Birds of Prey.
I know the Birds of Prey, but wait, what about I thought I think this character's name. I forgot. Yeah, he exists, but wait. If you're gonna give Nightwing his own out back in Bloodhaven, you should have him fight Harley Quinn.
No. The reason why we don't need nobody connected to the Bat family. Never mind. I mean, we don't need none of that. That's the problem. They want her to be on her own and stuff like that. Let's get her away from all of the Bat family. So that includes the Birds of Prey too. She just needs to be in a book that has no relationship towards the Bat family or Superman or Wonder Woman.
Okay.
And she doesn't need to be nowhere near any of those characters because that's the problem right now. Because
I know.
And let's be honest, a lot of people see her as Joker's girlfriend.
Me too.
And some people will tell you, "Oh, she's not the Joker's girlfriend" or whatever and stuff like that. Most people see her as the Joker girlfriend. All right,
that's why I see that too.
They do. And then my thing is, y'all forget that's why we got Punchline in the first place, because
be replacement for Harley Quinn.
Yeah, exactly. Because people, were tired of not seeing Joker not have a henchwoman, and his henchwoman was Harley Quinn, but they wanted to get her independent and stuff like that.
Or have her in a lesbian relationship with Poison Ivy. By the way, that's stupid too. I'm gonna go into that later.
Ugh.
But the thing is, wait, how many non-power heroes are in DC Comics? I forgot. I'm forgetting. Mine's blanking on some of them.
I mean, there's a few characters, but again, a lot of these characters, when they rebooted the continuity, a lot of these characters haven't even been reintroduced yet.
I know.
So
there are
so many characters in the world of DC that they could use, but they choose not to use. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, perfect. I got a perfect idea. You should make Harley Quinn antagonist the Plastic Man. That will be perfect.
Oh yes. That could definitely work. That could definitely be a thing with Plastic Man. Like if Plastic Man had a little solo run and stuff like that, and if you play your cards right with that one, you can have him because they're both wacky and goofy.
I know. Like imagine how many jokes can go back and forth between them two.
Oh yeah, that could possibly work actually.
Yeah, I mean DC Comics, they just ignoring Plastic Man or many of the iconic characters. Like they just ignoring Plastic Man. They ignore Captain Madam.
I mean, I'm still waiting for Justice Society of America, and I still ain't got it yet.
Yeah, but
I don't understand how I ain't got the Justice Society of America yet. The first superhero team in the comic book universes, and we still ain't got them.
Yeah, GSA, I know. But the thing is, like you still, like seriously now, what the hell? Like,
You know what? She could be a nuisance for Power Girl.
Yeah, of course.
Power Girl had a solo run, which I don't know why they keep pretending like the character don't exist.
Because of titties.
Of course. But I mean, and then once again, if people had read the comic books, and stuff like that, they would understand why Power Girl dresses like she dresses. She's always told people that she's a confident woman, and as a confident woman who likes her body, who likes her curves, she's gonna dress sexy and stuff like that.
I don't care what you think.
Like it, oh well, and she has the boob window as not only to not be tied down to Superman, but to also villains are distracted by the boobs. She's right. Yeah. Like, if I was a villain and then, Power Girl came out of nowhere, I probably would have forgotten. I would have been like, boobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably would have got punched. I would have probably got knocked out. And she would have been like, works every time. Of course it works every time. Make me sick. God.
I know. Unless you're female.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Some females might like it.
So some gay. But but anyway, and then we got another problem with this whole poison ivy being a good person thing. In the original DC continuity, didn't she feed people to plants?
Yeah,
and then,
she was an eco-terrorist.
No, and then she used her mind powers to force people to kill each other or something.
Yeah, sometimes, occasionally, especially if you're in her way and she needs to move you out the way, But she's an eco-terrorist.
Yeah,
she's. I mean, let's be honest. She
wants plants to take over the world. She wants the world to turn to a jungle.
And on top of that, she is a terrorist.
Exactly.
I mean, you can't y'all keep trying to forget that these characters done did some crazy stuff. They done did some stuff. So I'm sorry, you're not going to try to convince me that they can all of a sudden be good guys just because you want them to be good guys.
Because they're female. They're trying to turn Poison Ivy into Swamp Thing. Poison Ivy is not Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing's a good guy. Poison Ivy is equal terrorist who wants to turn the world to a jungle and plant monsters.
Right. The only time Swamp Thing interferes if it's like literally people who are like cutting down forests or swamps or injuring the thing. Then he'll come out of nowhere and stop that kind of stuff. Or if there's some magical presence going on in the world that needs the green, of course. But he doesn't go out and purposely try to kill people or
kill innocent people
into plants or something like that. Like that's what Poison Ivy does. And it's okay. Like that's another thing that a lot of these people need to understand. It's okay for villains to be villains. Not every villain is meant to have a redemption arc. And what's happening is it's too many villains trying to have a redemption arc. And I'm kind of over it. I'm over these villains having redemption arcs, because my thing is in this stuff, you'll give the villains more chances than you would the hero. Like, oh, okay, Batman saved the day numerous of times, but this one time he accidentally killed somebody out of anger by accident. We must hunt him down. We'll never forgive him or whatever and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's all based around sexism. Essentially, Poison now has to be a good person now because she's a female. That's how this ideology work. Like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like,
it's more of an annoyance than anything else.
Yeah,
it's literally an annoyance more so than anything else, to be honest. And I'm kind of over it because it's not nuanced at all anymore. It's not nuanced. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, this villain who's been a villain for a whole bunch of years finally needs to be a good guy because they're popular with the massive. Okay, Joker's popular with the massive, but you don't make him a hero.
Yeah, that's because he's a man. He got a dick.
Yeah.
I was scared. A little Riddler's popular. Wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean the Riddler, and what's so funny about the Riddler has animosity with the Green Arrow, so he sometimes is a villain to the Green Arrow, which is kind of funny. Like if you like I said, it's the same thing with Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. If you want these characters to kind of be their own thing, let them challenge other heroes and stuff like that. There are plenty of other heroes in the world that they could challenge and stuff like that. Like back in the day, before the continuity got rebooted, DC and Marvel, to an extent, their worlds were vast. Now it feels like the circle is so small. Like it's only these same villains, these same heroes show up. Like, oh, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Of course, with Marvel, there's a reason why, because most of them live in New York City.
All of them. Well, most of them.
I get that. I can understand that.
But DC's all spread all over the entire globe.
Yeah,
DC doesn't have that. It's spread all over the entire globe.
Yeah, DC doesn't have an excuse, and it's every like, even if you look at the last event was Death Metal. If you look at the heroes in there, you'll notice it's the same recurring ones that we see all the time. But if you go back and look at Infinite Crisis, Final Crisis, Crisis on Infinite Earth, it's heroes that you ain't seen in years, but they're there. You just don't see them. You just don't see them.
Yeah,
because
like
DC chooses not to use them.
I
You know,
know.
it's always funny. Like you always talk about these characters, but it would be nice to see these characters make a comeback and stuff like that. I'm tired of this. It feels the universe feels small instead of expansive.
I
You
know.
know, like for instance, a lot of people was always wondering with especially the death of Superman. If anybody read Death of Superman, everybody would know that the Justice League wasn't part of the Death of Superman. There was a stand-in Justice League team, and the reason why is because the universe was so vast. Wonder Woman was doing her own thing at the same time that Superman was getting killed by Doomsday.
Mm,
Batman was dealing with issues with Bane and stuff
yeah,
like that, and
he
they
has
let
back
you know
broken
where
and stuff.
these characters were at.
His
They
back
let
was
you know
broken at
that
the
these
time.
characters couldn't be there and stuff
Mm,
like that. Back in the day with these comic books, your Thor's not going to be in every issue of Avengers. Captain America is not going to be in every issue of Avengers. You know what I'm saying? But they have comic books. They have their own solo runs. So their stories are always going to explain the reason why they're not there. Like
mm,
for instance, last year I believe the whole Batman oversaturation thing. It made no sense that Batman was in a whole body cast in Justice League, but then he's fighting the Joker in Batman.
mm,
Detective comic books, he's fighting these faceless villains. Then in what Red Hood and the Outlaws, he's chasing down Jason Todd and his crew because they done did something. Then over in Nightwing, he done showed up just to see what he was up to see what Dick Grayson was up to. That girl, he's teaming up with her to take on some
mm.
other person or whatever, stuff like that. Then not to mention is he's also guest starring in Superman stories because they need to solve a crime together. So Superman called Batman, and you're just like, how is all of this happening at the
Mhm.
same time that event in Justice League is happening?
I know.
It makes no logical sense.
Aren't
But
there
we
many other?
gotta figure out how to make this universe expansive. Batman
I
can't
know.
be in every book, and Batman can't be in every issue of Justice League, just like Superman can't be in every issue of Justice League. It doesn't make no sense. You can't keep these characters can't all be in everything at once. It just makes no kind of sense.
Yeah, I know. Like, if you want an investigator, can't you get the question in back in?
Yeah, I mean they tried
eh,
that with that event Leviathan, and let's be honest, it was Brian Michael Bendis. So you do the math with that one.
so, but I know. But anyways, seriously now, they'll why don't DC bring the Creeper back? Oh wait, they did in New 52, but they made him a villain, which is retarded
I mean, of course, they're
because
they're
the Creeper is
literally
not a villain
restarting
originally; he's a
everything.
superhero. Not on that, but also it's not just that. The fact that making Creeper a villain makes him redundant to Joker. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It might as well be the same then.
Well, remember they're
Why?
going for dark and
Why
edgy.
would you? I know, but then Creeper's a fine guy, but he's supposed to be a good guy. If you make him evil, he's the same as a Joker.
Anything to do something brand new.
Like, that's not something brand new. Creeper's not supposed to be the Joker literally. Also you got a lot of characters you forgot about or something. Like well, what else DC did Milestone, we just forgot about them. Wells I forgot. Well, something involving Wonder Woman. Oh wait, does what's her name? Her Wonder Girl even have a consistent backstory? Donna Troy. They always
Donna
say.
Troy, Donna Troy is a complicated kind of
I know.
figure, and of course, she's the magical sister of Wonder Woman. While you have Nubia, Wonder Woman's actual twin sister, and then of course you have Cassie Stanmark's
Mhm.
her sidekick, and of course you have Artemis, one of the Amazons from Egypt.
Yeah,
Um,
this doesn't make. Yeah,
it's yeah,
you gotta make
it's
it.
kind of
You gotta make this consistent. For example, also with the stupid change to Wonder Woman's backstory to make her the daughter of Zeus. Let me explain. The problem with this. The problem with this is that them making her demigod isn't a problem in of itself for me. Where's the problem is they chose the Zeus. Why would you choose Zeus? There are other guys in Greek
but
mythology that are,
my thing is with that one that bothered me the most is the whole point of Wonder Woman being this feminist icon or whatever and stuff like that
that's
is the
just
fact
created about
that
the help of a man. About the help of a man.
she wasn't created by a man. She
Yeah,
wasn't created by a man. She was created by a woman and stuff like that. She has no mother. That's the whole
that's the
point
father.
of Wonder Woman's birth. Like, it was supposed to be a symbolism of a woman having a child without the help of a man.
Not
To make her the daughter of Zeus disrespects Cassie Sandsmark, whose actual father in the comic books before they retconned it was Zeus. Zeus was literally the
no,
father
no, no.
of Cassie Sandsmark. Yeah, Zeus
But the thing
was
they
the
chose the
daughter
wrong
of
god.
the father.
I know,
Yeah,
but the thing is, they chose the wrong god. No, no, look. Had they, I had no problem with them using creating having her be a demigod and having her have her have a dad that who's a god. But the thing is, they chose Zeus. They could have chose another god, the much
well,
better,
the
like
whole point is the Amazons are part of the Greek pantheon. Who's the most powerfulest god in the Greek pantheon?
Zeus,
Zeus.
Zeus. But the thing is, Zeus, a serial rapist within Greek mythology.
I
If you don't
mean,
know,
of course he is, but guess what? Who's your most powerful female character? Wonder Woman. And you want her to be connected to the Greek pantheons because her entire mythos is laced in Greek mythology. Of course, she's going to be the daughter of Zeus. But that's why I don't even want her to be the daughter of Zeus at all. I don't want her to be the daughter of anybody but Hippolyta.
no,
I want her and Nubia, how they were attended to be created is
uh,
Hippolyta had got white
clay
clay
sculptures
and dark clay, which represents sun and moon, and
mm,
sculpted those two girls
into
and
existence.
asked the gods to bless them with life, and they did.
Yeah,
Bam, there you go.
it's kind of like a Night Museum.
But my thing is, DC act like Wonder Woman's mythos is complicated. It's not complicated. You guys just make it complicated.
Okay. Well, they shouldn't. Like, for example, if they did want to change it up, is have the dad be what's his name? What's his name? He start with H from Greek mythology. What's the guy's god name?
You talking about Hercules?
No, not Hercules. That's a demigod. That's not a god. What's his not Helios. What's his the guy of invention?
What?
The guy of
Helios?
invention. Yeah, not Helios. Hiking something. Wait, Hermes. Wait, not Hermes. The messenger god. If you want to go that route, use Hermes because Wonder Woman is supposed to be an ambassador between the world of men and the world of the Amazons. Just like Hermes is between the world of gods and the world of humans. So
I mean, but that wouldn't even justify Wonder Woman's powers, though.
now you still would, because Hermes is still powerful, like all guys supposed to be.
Yeah, in speed wise, not super strength, flight. You know what I'm saying? Like, not that kind.
She's still strong. He's still stronger than human though.
Physically. I mean, yeah, but we talking about we want her to be at the level of Superman level.
Yeah, she still would be. She still would be.
I mean, Superman punched Hermes before. Like, what are we talking about? Like, Hermes is fast, but you know, Superman has taken him on. Like,
Mercury's Hermes and Roman, Felix.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it don't make no sense for her to be the daughter of none of the gods. Like, she doesn't need to be. That's the problem. That is what's wrong with Wonder Woman now, is that they tied her to a Greek god. She didn't need to be the tie. She was her mythos was wrapped in the Greek mythology. So to overcomplicate that makes no logical sense, especially because that takes away all of the story and development that Cassie Sandsmark had for 30 years. That's the whole reason why that character was created. She was created to be the sidekick of Wonder Woman, and discovered that the fact that she is the daughter of Zeus, and Zeus was able to bless her with powers, and now she learns from Wonder Woman. So you didn't need that. You already had a character that was literally the child of a god right there, but decided to be on the side of Wonder Woman, and that was Cassie. So to take that away from Cassie and give that to Wonder Woman is disrespectful, to be honest. I don't care what nobody's reasoning for it is. Wonder Woman doesn't need to be birthed by gods. She doesn't need that at all.
She's not supposed to be a demigod. That's the thing. You can't make her a demigod.
She's supposed to be a goddess incarnate. That's all. She was a goddess that was blessed.
I know. She's not supposed to be a
goddess that was blessed. Her and Nubia, that's what they is. And Donna is a magical duplicate of Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Wait, what? That was original backstory, because they keep changing this so often. Don't even know.
Well, that's what she was. Well, her originally was Donna Troy was literally supposed to be a younger version of Diana
Young
when
clone.
they had the Wonder Woman family book
Mm.
where Wonder Woman would team up with a baby version of herself,
And
a
a
teen
little girl
version of
version.
herself, and an older version of herself, along with Hippolyta, and they would go on adventures. One of the writers, when he was coming up with Teen Titans, he forgot that version, that little small girl that Wonder Woman was hanging out with, was
Was actually
literally a
herself.
version of her.
From the
So
full alternate timeline.
he thought that was Diana's sister.
So he created a sister or something.
Yes, he created her.
Yeah.
He called her Donna Troy, and then by the time that book came out or whatever, it was too late because one of the publisher, after they already published it, they had told the guy, hey, yeah, Donna Troy wasn't supposed to be that. She is literally supposed to be a magical past version of Diana. And it's just like
so they had to find a way to make it, had to come up with the sister or origin.
Yeah,
it just makes sense
because they announced that she was the sidekick of Wonder Woman, and then it's kind of like, wait, that goes against continuity. So then they had to come up with a backstory of, oh, she's the magical duplicate sister of Diana, like
a magical clone. Got it.
Oh, okay, cool. Then it got even more complicated because that's another thing with DC. DC loves to get complicated with Donna Troy. So once again, they did another story where they explained Donna Troy. They were basically like she was a foster baby that Diana found in a fire after her family died. She took her to Paradise Island, and they raised Hippolyta raised her as her daughter, and literally gave her the purple ray, which gave her the abilities to be blessed like Diana. And that's how she became, Donna Troy became Wonder Girl. Then another story was when
so how many
Diana
times you change the story? You gotta make new characters for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, that's why. But see, another thing is they always trying to overcomplicate some of these characters, and the Wonder Woman characters been overcomplicated because it's like about 500 backstories for Donna Troy, and now
Wonder Woman herself.
Yeah, now all of a sudden we got another retcon for Wonder Woman because even with Wonder Woman Rebirth, they were like, "Hey, Diana, all that stuff that happened before the New 50. I mean, but after the New 52, yeah, that stuff was a lie." And she's trying to discover who's the real Diana. And I'm just like, oh, for God's sakes, here y'all go again. You guys keep retconning her history. Stop retconning her history and just keep the characters how they're supposed to be. That's all you have to do.
They keep retconning Aquaman too. I mean, Aquaman being at one point back in the 90s, didn't have one arm, one hand, and one hand hook.
Well, that was an event that happened where he lost his hand because at the time he had lost his psychic powers to communicate with the fishes, and Black Manta had forced his hand into a pool of piranhas, and it took off his hand, and he got a hook in his hand because he was trying to be edgy and stuff like that. And then when the New 52 came, they took away his thing because he died before Blackest Night. I forgot how he died. Then he came back in Brightest Day. Then they rebooted the continuity again. So now Aquaman's back to before the New 52 version of himself. Like I said, it's complicated. It's complicated, but most of the characters are supposed to be back to their pre-New 52 selves in the continuity. But they're still saying that some of the New 52 stuff still happened though. So they don't know which is going to be. But then they introduced the Omniverse and saying that everything happened.
Omniverse, But the thing is, another thing is, you mentioned earlier that they have an evil Batman stories. I haven't seen any. The only evil Batman ultimate story I ever read was an independent comic called Nemesis.
Out of continuity stories, when he was a vampire.
Oh, but then nobody talks about that.
But that's what I'm saying. All of the Superman stories of him being evil and Batman being evil have been out of continuity storylines. Like they're like what if stories.
Now if I make it seem Superman's evil is should be mainstream version of Superman. Like, huh?
pretty much.
Mm, like
But
like
then
why?
my thing about the evil Superman thing is, okay, if you're gonna do it, why you just don't let Zack Snyder finish what he was doing with the Justice League thing, since it seemed like that's where it was going.
Exactly. He's leading up to Injustice movie.
I mean, I'd rather prefer that than them make an Injustice movie. For
A
what
cartoon or
reason?
Justice cartoon movie because why make a cartoon movie when the video game is already animated?
And you can just literally type in Injustice video game movie
And
cutscenes
I
on
know,
YouTube and watch it. And I know some people are like, well, the cutscenes are aged. Who cares? It's the same damn story.
no. It's edited to be a
People trying to
movie.
be like, oh, they can do something new with it. Do what new with it? The story is basic. Joker tricks Superman into killing his wife and unborn child and blows up Metropolis. Superman kills Joker,
Then he
becomes an
goes
evil
crazy.
dictator. Batman creates a resistance to go and to stop Superman, and then he decides to bring in an alternate reality Justice League to stop Superman, and
I mean,
that's it.
not only that,
That's
but
it.
also the entire concept of evil Superman has already been done with Darkseid since evil Superman basically is Darkseid. I mean, what's the difference between Superman and Darkseid? Superman is just evil.
I don't know. I mean, like I
Exactly.
said, if they really wanted to do something with Injustice, just let Zack Snyder finish that Justice League stuff. Let him finish his plans
I know.
and stuff like that. I don't care if people like Zack Snyder or not. That's not the point. That's not the point, because there are things that Zack Snyder did in those movies that I could punch him in the face for, to be honest. But he, like it or not, he's the only one with a plan. He
I
was
know.
the only one
The
at
only
WWE
one.
that had a plan.
Of course.
Because all of the stuff that when Ann Sernoff was saying what she was saying, I was like, you don't got a plan for these movies, do you?
I know, like
You
Warner
don't have
Bros.
a plan.
I know, like
You
Warner
don't
Bros.
have a plan.
I know, like Warner Bros. Plan to make no sense whatsoever. Like seriously, now Zack Snyder was original concept for Superman as Rocky as Superman made sense, because as I can tell, that was going with Man of Steel.
Yeah, and I get it that some people didn't really like the dark take or whatever and stuff like that. But remember, this was at the time that you guys were complaining about Marvel being kid friendly or whatever, right?
So he
So
did the opposite.
He decided to go with the New 52, and it's kind of funny because a lot of people will be like, "Oh, the way the characters were acting, they're not acting like comic books." But yes, they actually were acting like their comic book
Like New
selves,
52.
because if you pick up the New 52 at the time, that was comic book continuity. That was the main continuity at the time. So the way that why is Superman world dark and stuff like that? Why is Batman like not really caring if he runs people off? Because he was doing it in the comics. Like, I mean, like it or not, of course I don't agree with Batman killing at all. And of course I don't agree with Superman snapping Zod's neck. And I don't agree with Wonder Woman tapping into too much of her warrior princess vibes. But at the time in the comic books, that's literally how the Trinity were.
By the way, I had no problem with the scene when Superman snaps Zod's neck because what else could he do? There's nothing else in that world they could do. So I had no problem with it. So
yeah, everybody always talks about, oh, there's always a way.
In that at that point in that movie universe, it wasn't any other way. I mean, how could he beat Zod? By killing him.
That's true. That is true.
But that's why I didn't
because there was no kryptonite at the time. Everybody already got sucked into the Phantom Zone. So what else were you going to do? Because
the Phantom Zone was destroyed. The Phantom Zone was destroyed.
Tried to get Zod away from the city or tried to get him away from everything. He just brings him back into the city. Yes, Superman was semi-careless with the city, but let's be honest. Do you guys not remember Superman War at Worlds and Death of Superman? Remember when him and Doomsday were fighting and Superman tried his best to keep him away from the city, but Doomsday kept going towards the city and kept destroying things on his approach, even though Superman tried his best to save people. But it's just like, how can you save people when you got a superpower being destroying you and trying to beat you up and you're trying to stop them? Like, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell people. Life happens.
Yeah. That's why.
I understand where everybody was going from, but let's be honest. DC did something that it took Marvel all the way until Civil War to address, and even then, they kind of swept it under the rug by the time Infinity War got underway.
I know.
So I mean, like it or not, you can get mad at what DC did, but DC literally held Superman responsible for his stuff.
Mhm.
Like man, like
Mm.
literally Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice literally got this man on trial, and you
Yeah.
got people questioning Superman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Like I
how
said, it's
you
nothing
gonna say that you
Superman could
want
do.
something
So that's the
different?
other thing.
You
That,
want
that
something different, and they give you something different, and then you complain about it being too dark or it's too violent or it's not how Superman and Batman would be. But remember, a lot of you people aren't reading the comic books because at the time they
yes, it
literally
was
rebooted the continuity to be darker,
to be edgy.
to
So
be
so
dark, to
they
be
so,
edgy. So literally, what you're literally looking at New 52 DC comic books
yeah.
characters.
I know. But the thing is, the thing was there. Yeah, like I said, but the thing is, another thing is, okay, we got evil. Okay, I want to get this evil Superman would be no different than the Dark Side. That's what I was saying earlier. The Dark Side, if you don't know his Injustice storyline, Superman becomes Dark Side essentially in terms of personality.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, so evil Superman is redundant if we already have Dark Side because we already know what it looks like. The
Well, I
only
mean,
difference that Dark Side can't fly.
most people aren't familiar with Darkseid like they are Superman. So
I know.
if you want what you how can you get the mainstream to notice something?
Hmm.
Take something that's iconic and make it an evil storyline. Then you're gonna have people questioning, wait, Superman would never.
Exactly, but
Oh, but he is
it,
doing it this time.
it's supposed to be shocking, or at least it was shocking a long time ago. But
Yeah, it was shocking. It was shocking a few times, but
and that's
now it's
just
not. It's not shocking. It's at this point, it's just stupid.
I know.
It,
Like, why
it,
don't you just make a new guys movie if that's the case? Oh wait, no, not an
oh,
actual competent new
oh,
guys movie. No, not that one that
oh,
just canceled. That would have been directed by that chick who directed the crappy time teleportation movie. Time was that
oh yeah,
movie?
Wrinkle in Time.
Wrinkle in Time. Yes, yeah.
Ava DuVernay. Thank
Yeah,
goodness that movie got canceled.
yeah. Good thing they think it's well. But if it had actual competent creative people behind it and made a new guys movie, which should focus on Mr. Miracle as a central character, because let's be honest, Mr. Miracle is the only good guy on the planet Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you should have Mr. Miracle as discover oh well, he already knows Darkseid's evil, but you have him try to get out and escape from Darkseid. But the thing is, yeah, so evil Superman is already redundant of Darkseid. Why don't we have a evil Wonder Woman? And that's at least original on some level, since it's not a dictatorship. It would be more like a
I think
Viking
one
war.
time they did the evil Wonder Woman thing was when they did Flashpoint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be like more like a Viking thing. A Viking thing.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, I don't know if people are really ready for evil Wonder Woman. I mean, at least it will be something. It will be better than keep
Mm-hmm.
constantly seeing Superman as evil. But at the same time, I'm kind of over the superhero becoming evil trope. Like
Mm-hmm.
we've done it to death at this point. Can the
Yeah.
superheroes be actual superheroes first? And
No.
can we keep the villains being villains? How about
Mm-hmm.
that? Stop trying to make the heroes evil and stop trying to make the villains good guys. Like, let's stop that crap
Yeah.
because we're doing too much of the reverse.
I know. Like,
I don't want to walk into another superhero movie where the villain is on a redemption arc and the hero is fall from grace. Like, get out of here with that.
all the time. Like
Get out of
why
here with that
don't you why don't you do a movie, a super movie where it's like the old days, like the Dark Knight, where the was a good ultra good guy fighting the ultra bad guy. I mean, why can't you have a Wonder Woman movie where she fights Dr. Psycho? We can't have that because Dr. Psycho is not on can't be on redemption arc because he's a rapist. You know who Dr. Psycho is, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying we need something. We
Yeah.
need something, but it's time for these heroes just to be like the shining light of hope and let the villains be just agent of chaos. It's okay. It's okay. Like, not every villain needs to be redeemed, and not every villain needs a reason to be evil. I'm tired of people trying to be like, oh, there has to be a reason. No, sometimes people get up and just do evil. Sometimes people get up and just do things without a given reason. Not all you don't always need a good reasoning for stuff.
No, all villains need either a motivation or a goal, sure, but you don't need to be sympathetic. That's the thing. That's the problem.
Yeah, like we're taking our most iconic villains. We're taking our most iconic villains and trying to make them these heroes,
Anti-heroes because they're female.
Anti-heroes
because they're female.
And it's like they forgot that a lot of us know how terrible they are. Like, to be honest, I don't like that Magneto is this beloved hero type character. I'm sorry, no, he is a villain. Keep his behind as a villain. I sympathize with Magneto. I understand where he's coming from, but I don't need him being a hero.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, no, that's not how that works. Like, I get where they were doing with Harley Quinn. I understand that. I get it, but that doesn't give me the right. That doesn't give it the right that she needs to now be part of the Bat family. No, she's killed too many people and stuff like that. And trying to give her a redemption arc, no, because there's been too many chances that they've given her, and she screwed up and stuff like that. Because somebody was trying to compare her to Vegeta's struggle in Dragon Ball.
No,
it was like, Vegeta won't forgive Harley Quinn. I was like, whoa. Harley Quinn and Vegeta are completely different characters.
I know.
That is nature versus
Vegeta didn't choose to be evil. He was raised from a baby to be evil. He was raised from a baby to be evil. That's not the same as choosing to be evil.
Yeah, she chose to follow that path that Joker put her on. She chose that.
Think of Vegeta.
Raised like that.
Yeah, but think of Vegeta as like a Viking. Think of Vegeta as like a Viking. A Viking.
Same thing with because another famous hero that had her redemption was Xena the Warrior Princess, of course, because she took up arms to protect her village and realized that no matter how many times she's fighting, these people aren't going to understand unless she conquers everybody and forces them to be peaceful. And what she would do is she would kill men, but she made sure that women and children were never harmed or anything, because it was always these men coming to the villages, pillaging it, raping the women and children and stuff like that. So she decided that she's going to conquer the world. Yes, she has killed men and stuff like that. But when she met Hercules, and when she had her son, her shell started to crack. And after that, when Hercules finally convinced her that there is good in you, you just have to let go of this hatred and anger you have towards the world. Once she let go of that, she went on a redemption arc of literally saving people's lives. That is completely different than choosing to mass murder people. Every comic book issue you're in with the Joker, when he's doing this stuff, and you kind of sit there and let it happen. You're just as bad as he is.
Yeah, but
my thing is, it's not like Batman hasn't tried with her. Batman has tried with her, and she always returns to the Joker. Just like Poison Ivy will talk to her and be like, "You don't need the Joker or whatever," stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, Ivy, you're right. Then the next issue, she's back with the Joker. So don't give me that she needs to have a redemption. No, she had her chance. She had her chances numerous of times. I'm sorry, not every character needs it. And trying to get me to like it just because she's popular in the mainstream doesn't work either. Because I can tell you, as somebody who go to conventions, I see more people with Harley Quinn teamed up with Joker than I do see
Harley
Poison Ivy. If you really want to get technical with it.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. Not to mention, that's how Harley Quinn was created. Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn aren't really meant to be together. Not to mention, how is their relationship cute? Poison Ivy relationship, how they write their relationship is stupid.
They literally make Poison Ivy a damsel in distress. Like, everything revolves around Harley Quinn having to kind of save Poison Ivy, or Poison Ivy is like a MacGuffin thing, or she's kind of like some kind of object for Harley Quinn to get to towards the end. She's not her own person. Poison Ivy hasn't been her own person since the 52.
Not to mention, this is also stupid. But Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn in a sexual relationship, and their relationship is normal. No, it's not. Not supposed to be normal. Poison Ivy should treat Harley Quinn just as bad as the Joker if we got personality right.
Right.
Because Poison Ivy is just as evil as is almost as evil as Joker.
Version that she doesn't do a version.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. I don't understand why they feel the need to do this kind of stuff, to be honest. And what I hate is I hate that people always try to say it's because when I criticize them changing the character sexuality and stuff like that, I really do hate when they always say it's because I hate I'm homophobic because I hate gay people or whatever. And it's just like, no,
there are characters who's gay for a long time.
These characters for years. I'm sorry that you think you can just all of a sudden change a character's sexuality.
But no, that's stupid.
Yeah, like after 40 years of being in the comic books, now all of a sudden, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy has a thing for each other. Or
Alan Scott's suddenly gay now.
Yeah, Poison Ivy's been around for almost 80 years. Longer than Harley Quinn.
Poison Ivy been around since the 60s.
Yeah, she's never had anything to do with women. Never.
That's how stick that she seduced men.
With men.
That's how stick that she seduced men. She seduced men and she has some misandrous. So she's basically a female version of Dr. Psycho in terms of similar relationship with the opposite sex.
Yeah, like I mean, my thing is okay. So I'm homophobic, but yeah, I've been champion DC and I've been champion for DC to push Midnighter and Apollo more.
I know, and they got characters.
And Renee Montoya. Why Renee Montoya and Batwoman not together?
Wait, I know something too. Why they trying to turn Poison Ivy into Pied Piper essentially? DC, because Pied Piper was gay for a long time. Was gay for a long time back in the 80s, I think.
And see, but that's what I'm saying. But they pretend like these characters, these LGBT characters, ain't been around in years. But yet, when people like me are champion for, hey, bring out these original gay characters, let's do more with them. They're good characters. We're not talking about them. We're talking about these characters. You mean the characters that are canonically straight for a whole bunch of years, but all of a sudden you want to make them gay, and now because fans don't like it, they're homophobic? That doesn't make any sense. If I'm champion for Apollo, Midnighter, Renee Montoya, Batwoman, Pied Piper, if I'm champion to say, hey, we need to see more of these characters, or why wasn't Renee Montoya and Batwoman not allowed to be a couple, or why Batwoman wasn't allowed to marry her partner in the Batwoman run, which I forgot what's her name, but
because Dandy Deal. Because
Maggie Sawyer, Maggie Sawyer was a good side character, supporting character in Batwoman, and they had a good relationship. Why wasn't they allowed to be together?
Because the dial says superheroes can't have happy endings. So
I mean, of course,
can't get married.
What I'm saying is, for all of that talk about we don't like these characters, there are a few predominant gay characters in the comic book world that don't hardly get any spotlight. The only time they get in the spotlight is now they're about to do this whole pride thing.
I know.
My thing is that's why they understand with the whole Alan Scott thing. Like you had Obsidian, you had
his son was gay.
You guys retconned out of continuity.
Oh, they made the dad gay.
But
first of all, how does he make sense? How does he get hard when he have sex with a woman and get pregnant? Does he have to take Viagra?
I don't know, because it didn't make no logical sense, because you can look at the thoughts of Alan Scott
in the original 1940s comics, and he's like women. He's still attracted to women.
My thing is, Alan Scott had a big old huge storyline with his son, because when he found out
Alan Scott was homophobic.
Alan Scott was a huge homophobe. He hated gay people. And he hated his son.
I know.
It took what? It took about 6 to 8 years in DC comic books before Alan Scott, got over the fact that his son was gay.
I know. Like why don't you just put Obsidian?
Of course, you got people trying to say, "Oh, it was internalized homophobia." No.
That's not making sense. His dad like woman.
Logical sense.
His dad like woman.
Exactly.
How did he make him?
In the late 80s, when Obsidian and Alan Scott had those issues. because Alan Scott is a traditionalist because he grew up in the 1940s. He did all of that. People forget that Alan Scott is an old person. He is already in his ways.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to change him now for 2021 sensibility don't make no logical sense.
What you should do is push Obsidian, make Obsidian his own comic book series.
Exactly. You could have focused on that character. But
give him a boyfriend.
You wanted to take a character that people known for 80 years and be like, oh look, even old people can be gay.
What's that? That's like Alan Scott's not gay. His entire story arc revolves around hating his son for being gay. Doesn't make any sense.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying.
Another thing with DC is that they tried to turn Poison Ivy into Pied Piper because Pied Piper was already had the sympathetic villain thing because Pied Piper isn't really that evil. He's just a robber.
But what we're saying is Poison Ivy is an eco-terrorist. She was an eco-terrorist from the first time she got on for a long time. Like you can't erase what she's done.
Pied Piper don't
like, oh, sympathetic character now.
No. Pied Piper works because all he do is just steal stuff. He never commits first degree murder or nothing like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I know, and now that
crossed those lines. Just like Harley Quinn has crossed those lines. They're trying to redeem characters that crossed the line numerous of times and trying to redeem them. I'm sorry, it's too late for that.
Yeah, Pied Piper didn't cross those lines. He just steals stuff and he's gay.
Yeah.
But
he shared that with Wally West. You know?
I know.
And it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool. And it kind of shows you like you guys are sitting up here saying that these characters or fans hated this stuff, but it's just like, no, we didn't. No, we didn't. We never hated this stuff. You guys are just trying to put that on us. You're trying to say that we hate whatever just because we so used to how these characters are. You got to remember a lot of these characters have been around for years. There are so many books on them that you can literally read about these characters. And then all of a sudden you're trying to change something drastic about them to the point where it's insulting to the character and it's insulting to the creator and it's insulting to the readers. And then you're trying to be confused on why we don't like the dumb stuff that you did. You know, it just don't make no logical sense to me.
And then we overuse some villains. Like we overuse. Not only did we use trope for sympathetic villains, we overuse the characters themselves. Like how many times Harley Quinn got to show up, and Poison Ivy got to show up. Everything.
I don't know.
For example,
I mean, to be honest, I'm tucking out on the Joker too. I'm like,
I know.
God.
Like, can we use other Batman villains?
I love how DC for like a couple of years had Joker off the table. You know, that's what made his return so epic when he came back, because he was gone for so long that it made sense. But now that they overuse some of these villains, you're just like, oh, for God's sake!
Like when's the last time Scarecrow showed up with his own in storyline? They give him a new storyline now, finally.
Finally. But then I'm not even reading the current stuff because the current stuff is heading to that future state, and that's another thing. I'm not asking for that. That's the problem. A lot of fans are asking for a dark future. Future state should have been a what if thing, and yet you're trying to force that into the main continuity
and make that the future.
Yeah, make that the story, and it's just like I'm over the magistrate bull crap because we've already done this story too many times. We've done this story where Gotham City is taken over by either a villain or taken over by some kind of outside government force or whatever, and they want to hunt down all the heroes and stuff like that instead of focusing on the villains.
Yeah, and like for example, the new future state title that people liked is what's her name? Yara Flor, and that's because her butt. That's because her butt. Like her butt, her ass does look good, but still, that's the art. That's the artist.
Swamp Thing was really good. Swamp Thing was really good though.
Yeah, but the artist just that's just the art because the artist drew booty really good. That's the only reason.
Joelle Jones know how to draw now. That girl,
I know.
that young lady, know how to draw really well. Her artwork is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Her artwork is fantastic. But I mean, if it gets people into Wonder Woman, okay, sure. But I just feel like
because want to jerk off.
I just feel like it shouldn't have been Yara. It shouldn't have been Yara's solo run. It literally should have been a story about Donna, Cassie, and Yara.
Oh, so just Donna.
The main characters should have been them three, not just Yara, because Donna Troy and Cassie had been out for how long? Years.
Decades.
And they don't even there's not a long running Wonder Girl comic book. But back in the day, there was a long standing Batgirl, Batman, Robin, Batwoman, Superman, Supergirl, Superboy. And then you have Action Comics and Detective Comics. Where's Sensational Comics? Where's Sensational Comics at? Where is Donna Troy solo run? And where's Wonder Girl solo run? Like it doesn't make any sense that Wonder Woman only has Wonder Woman as the title. There is no sensational comic books out. There is no sensational comic book out. There is no solo Wonder Girl series, a long running solo run, and there was not even Donna Troy having a solo run. Like Nightwing got a solo run. Why didn't Donna Troy get one? You get what I'm saying? It's just like DC, you're abusing one of the Trinities. How are we failing Wonder Woman right now? Again, but I hate women apparently, so I don't know nothing about what I'm talking about. Even though once again, champion for stuff like this. Okay. I want look. People want a lot of people that are disillusioned with the comic book industry. They want the comic book industry to fail. I don't want the comic book industry to fail. I want them to cut the crap, learn, and listen. Listen to your fan base. Your fans are literally telling you that, hey, this is what we want. Just give it to us. Give it to us. You say you want diversity. You say we need diversity, right? Okay, here's a list of diverse characters. Here's a list of LGBTQ characters. Here's a list of Black characters. Use them. Don't take classical characters and make them part of that checkoff list. Give us good stories. Stop retconning the continuity. You want to know why people love post-crisis DC comic books? It was going on for 30 years. The continuity was solid. It had its issues a little bit, but at least if you picked up a book, guess what? There's always an asterisk sign on the side that will tell you pick up Action Comics number 585 to understand where this story takes place at. Bam, there you go. So if you needed help, or wonder why Superman wasn't in Justice League, or wondering why Batman wasn't in the Trinity book that they had together, or whatever, they'll tell you why. You know what I'm saying? And the universe was big and expansive, and it was okay. It was okay for the heroes not to be in every book. It was okay for the heroes to have separate events that only affects them or whatever and jump like that. But this crap that we're doing right now, where we're pretending like all of that stuff didn't exist, is horse crap to me. I'm over it.
Yeah,
I'm over the about it.
Yeah, but because I'm working, because I'm trying to compete with Marvel and DC, because I got my own comic universe. I'm trying to create through Patreon. Felix has placed the link in the chat already, but I got Core Comics Productions is the name of the Patreon page. I got my own comic universe. I thought of these characters about since 2016. I've been thinking of these characters. The first superhero is called Goofanoid. That's the first comic trying to get funded, and it's about this mentally ill teenager whose parents are taken away by evil cults. And he now dresses up as a clown vigilante to fight them. So, and then there's gonna be he has a rose gallery I thought of, and supporting cast. Because Goofanoid is based primarily off a combination of Creeper and the Domino's Pizza-noid.
Did you say Pizza-noid?
Yeah, Domino's Pizza-noid.
Pizza. I'm surprised nobody didn't even try to do anything with pizza as like a villain or a hero or something like that. Yeah, I remember the wacky. I remember some of the wacky one-off villains they used to do in comic books. You just be like, "What were you guys thinking?"
Like remember Pizza? The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have a villain called Pizza Face.
Oh God, don't get me lying. It's been a long time since I read Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtle comic books. I haven't even read the new stuff that's coming out from IDW. I just lost interest in it. It's not that I don't like the turtles. It just I was kind of like, well, it's cool. It's whatever.
But anyways, Goofanoid is based primarily on a combination of the Domino's Pizza Noid, you know the Noid is, and the Creeper from DC Comics. You know the Creeper.
Of course, everybody knows Creeper.
No, not everybody.
Well, yeah, you're right.
It's based off of the Batman animated series version of the Creeper. That's why I got introduced. But Goofanoid, so we got this clown as a superhero. And I always thought Rose Gallery for him. His arch nemesis is going to be a female zombie mad scientist who's an organ thief, and she experiments on people in the laboratory and stuff.
This sounds like a hacked up version of Dexter's Lab.
Yeah. Actually, for my comic book universe, I actually took inspiration from multiple different sources, not just comic books. Actually like for example, one of the villains in my comic universe is not actually based is an alien, but he's not based off any DC Comics character or Marvel comics. It's based primarily off of Invader Zim in terms of personality, not appearance.
Invader Zim, that's a classic.
Yeah, but you got the yeah, like for example, one of my superheroes is based off of RoboCop primarily. Like another yeah, I'm trying to get funded, but I'm having a hard time. But I'm gonna get funded eventually.
Yeah, hey, look, at this point, it seems like all of us need to just do our own thing because the comic book industry, the mainstream, just been acting really retarded.
Yeah,
to be honest.
yeah, because
it sucks. It sucks though too, because you just be like, because I see the potential for them to get better. It's just that they just don't. They seem like they don't want to.
Because they don't want to. Because the real reality, the companies has been taken over by ideologues, far left ideologues. I mean, have you ever seen videos by this content creator called The Fourth Age YouTube channel?
Yeah.
And the thing is, reality, the people who run the companies don't really care. I mean, they don't care if the comic book sells, since the comic books are a niche market. Marvel in particular only cares about using us as testing ground for movie ideas, and DC's for TV shows, as with most independent comic book companies, the larger independents. The only comic book companies that in America that actually care about selling comics are Alternative Comics by Peter Samedi and Antarctic Press.
Right.
But I think you should I think you should probably re-upload this video on your upload this live stream on your channel when this is done. It can get you watch time if people watch it, because I'm not obviously I'm not getting any kind of watch time at all, or barely.
I don't even know how to even do this stuff, to be honest. This is my first time doing a live stream, actually.
Okay. What you down? Yeah, after this live stream is over, it turns to a regular video. So just download it using anytime download from YouTube software or any kind of website, and then it just re-uploads on your own channel.
Okay. All right, then I'll just I'll do that then.
Okay.
I was about to say, unless it's the way you save it, and I guess you send it to me or something like that, because I don't know how all of this stuff works yet. Because
yeah, just download it.
Into this streaming stuff.
Okay, yeah, just download it. But what about in the chat? Actually points out how the alphabet cults, sex cults, and at least that's what he calls it, and in California is actually targeting kids. I've watched his videos before. Like, he's in the chat right now. But okay, I think she can close the stream out now. So bye Trey McHale. I hope we have you on more often.
All right. I mean, this was kind of fun. So this was kind of cool. I might have to do a live stream myself and see how all of this turns out for people.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, cool. There's a website to go on
Yeah.
to.
Thank Felix for that. He's good at doing links.
Let me copy that
Uh,
link right quick.
but seriously, I need to find ways to get my Patreon marketed. I'm having a hard time marketing Patreon. I got 4 patrons, only $4 a month. Yeah, I really need to get my idea, get people to care about my ideas and story and stuff. But
Do you do like showings of it? Do you like when you do like a little promotional commercial? Because I know they say for Patreon and like when
there's
you
a
do
trailer on my Patreon.
you know like how Ethan Van Sciver promotes his comic books kind of like that. I mean, I that's how I've seen him do his stuff. It's like he makes like this cool commercial and show off the characters in like this motion comic book style kind of thing
Yeah,
to
I can't
show
redo
people.
that because I only have concept art. I only have concept art and 3 pages.
Okay, so
I'm
wait
not an
until
artist.
I would say try to get some more pages done. And
Yeah, that's
once
the
you get a
hard
little
thing.
bit more stuff
My,
done,
my, my
then
artist page rate, because I'm not the artist. I can't draw actually. I'm a very poor bad drawing. My artist page rate is $40 a page. So I actually got to raise money in order to pay the artist. That's
yeah, just all you gotta do is just be patient. Trust me, it'll happen. Just don't rush it, because if you rush it, it's not gonna turn out right. So I will always say, just take time, be patient for it. It'll come.
Yeah, it's only
Because
$150 a month.
of course, all of us right now are kind of tight ourselves after this whole pandemic thing kind of knocked half of us out. Lord have mercy.
I know.
If somebody had
I
told
was
me,
stuck inside for a whole year, by the way.
I
With nothing.
mean, if somebody had told me that this would have happened, I wouldn't have believed you, to be honest.
Yeah, like the whole world just shut down, just stopped. The whole world just stopped spinning. It seemed like.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the artwork, his artwork is actually, my artist's artwork is actually amazing. At least that's what other people say. But people have seen it. But like I said, on $150 a month to actually subscribe to my Patreon first year. But okay, I think she's closing the stream out now. So bye, stream Mikhail. Hope to talk more eventually.
All right. Have a good day.
Okay, bye.
Peace out.
Peace out. So thank you. What about Phyllis has for being the only 2 people here. Bye. Oh, I should probably link Dr. Destiny before I go out, but I'll talk about him more later.